Hello, listeners of Brayford Radio, and welcome back to the Bargain Bin podcast. We've been on a bit of a hiatus over Christmas, but we're back now, and there's been no changes whatsoever.
Absolutely none. Jack is definitely still here with us in the room, aren't you, Jack?
Yep, I haven't moved at all. In fact, I haven't left this room for the entirety of the Christmas holidays.
Jack, your microphone sounds so much different than it used to. I feel like I've not played with the settings enough. No, actually, Jack's decided that it'd be a really, really good idea for our production value if we become an international podcast.
Yeah, get some international appeal.
So technically, we are Brayford Radio's first international podcast.
No, probably not.
Oh, we definitely are.
Jack is currently in America for a few months for this semester because he wanted to, I guess.
He really hates us. He doesn't want to admit it.
Pretty much.
Which makes recording the podcast extra fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was super quick and easy to set up. It hasn't taken us an hour and a half.
And it doesn't slightly not work either. You know, it's definitely not relying on weird audio glitches.
We've not got Discord and Skype running through 3 different computers all feeding into each other.
It's really hot in there. I feel like one of them's going to go off.
Probably. Anyway, welcome back. We hope you all had a good Christmas.
It's time for us to review some films like we used to. Let's get on with a film that I picked this week, Phone Booth.
2002, starring Colin Farrell.
I can never pronounce his name. Every time I say Colin Firth, it's really annoying.
Phone Booth, Adam. Tell us what it's about.
Oh, the plot of Phone Booth. Well, let's just say that there is this ecomatic, I think that's a word, man who is like a publicist. Ecomatic. It's not how you're supposed to say it, but I can't say it. Anyway, there's a publicist whose entire career is founded on helping young startup actors and whatnot, trying to get publicised, but it's all lies. He lies to everyone. He's kind of almost like a chronic liar. And eventually this all catches up with him when he finally answers like this weird payphone phone call thing in a red light-ish district of New York.
Yeah.
Where he's confronted by someone on the phone who's threatening to shoot him in the head with a sniper rifle if he doesn't just basically tell all the truth that he's been hiding.
Yeah, so he's being threatened by this man on the phone. He's saying that if he doesn't tell his wife that he's cheating on her, that he's going to start shooting people. It's like a really weird like terrorism thing, but only against one person. So the whole film is just he's trapped in this phone booth with this sniper pointed at him, and he's got to do whatever he says. It's
a great concept. I love these lock room things, these one room things. It's really well done, and the acting's really good.
The acting is okay. Colin Farrell is pretty good. Forrest Whitaker is in this film as like a chief of police kind of type dude. Forrest Whitaker's always good, and the voice of the man on the phone is Kiefer Sutherland. He's just got a great voice for that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's surprisingly good as him, and like I kind of wonder why in slight tangent in Metal Gear Solid 5 why he wasn't like as good. Like I know this was obviously done 15 years before, but still, like he's really good as the voice in this film. Like some great voice acting, and yet in Metal Gear Solid 5, he's not that great. He's pretty average.
Maybe it's because 15 years ago was when he was in his prime. That was prime, like Jack Bauer 24 time for Keith Sutherland.
Yeah, that's true.
But a couple of years ago, he's not really that prolific anymore. Maybe it's affected his performances.
Yeah, that's true. Or maybe he's like one of those method actors. And he didn't want to cut his arm off for Metal Gear Solid, but he was willing to shoot Colin Farrell with a sniper rifle. So
that was the delay, ladies and gentlemen.
Jack may laugh about 5 minutes after we make a joke.
Yeah. This is what you're going to have to get used to, kids.
Kids?
Yeah, because only children listen to our show.
You should hear what Nick was shouting before the podcast. And you can hear that.
You can hear that on the uncut version.
Channel, I think.
There's uncut versions on YouTube where we mess up.
That's The Bargain Bin on YouTube. It's one of several podcasts called The Bargain Bin, but it's the only one with slight production values. So, interesting facts about Phone Booth.
I would love to hear some interesting facts about Phone Booth.
Well, bringing back to our original point of trying to get James Gunn into every single podcast.
That's true.
I've figured out a way of doing it with Phone Booth.
Let's hear it.
And, as we all know, if you're in the know, James Gunn has one particular actor he despises the most, and that is Jared Leto. Hates him for many reasons I can't say on the podcast because of what's it called, inflammatory statements.
Yeah, we can't say these things about
you
Jared
can say the word allegedly.
Yeah.
So basically there is an uncut version of this film. Stars Jared Leto just right after the beginning, after we say goodbye to Adam, who is Colin Farrell's assistant.
Yeah, something like
Very,
that.
very minor part
Some
in the
like
film.
trainee assistant.
The second he leaves, Colin walks down the street and down an alleyway, and he's on the phone with Jared Leto, and Jared Leto is an actor, just to say like, "Oh, I'm a struggling actor. Can you help me get on this show?" And it's just another one of his lies. And that was never shown in the theatrical release, apart from the channel FX, which is like it's like a Fox spin-off where they just show like CSI and films and stuff. They're the only place that have ever shown the uncut version.
And that links to James Gunn because James Gunn hates Jared Leto.
And there we go.
Wow.
It's a tenuous link, but it works.
It's a great fact.
I don't understand why they didn't just do the uncut version like as the actual release, because this film is only an hour and 20 minutes long. Like, I think that's an okay length for it. Like, I didn't think it needed to be any longer, but it's, I don't know, it's still just very, very short, and most of the time films like try to get to at least an hour and a half. So I don't know why they didn't.
I mean, I've seen the scene, and it's pretty dull. There's not, honestly, it's just like Jared Leto's in it just to be Jared Leto. It's like, ooh, I'll be the Joker one day and ruin it for
Was
everyone.
Jared Leto really anyone in 2002? What was he doing in 2002?
He did Brokeback Mountain.
Are you thinking of...
Yeah, it was him and
That was
the other guy.
Are you thinking of Heath Ledger?
And Jake Gyllenhaal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of a tenuous
swear to-
Joker
wait.
connection?
Oh, it's Heath Ledger. Okay, fair enough. Well, they both played the Joker, same thing.
Joaquin Phoenix is in that as well.
Yeah. And Mark Hamill.
God, can you name the other one? Caesar Romero.
Jack Nicholson.
I think that's all of them.
There's probably loads of voice actor ones.
I think they're... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot how many Batman like animated series there
There's
are.
a lot.
So some other interesting things about this film, which this one is really weird. The actor Will Smith. Everyone
Yeah.
loves him. He's great in YouTube Rewind. Everyone loves it.
Whoa.
That's hot. So he's had this weird stint where he keeps going for film roles and then turning them down very quickly. So he was originally going to be Neo. That's one of the big things. He stopped being Neo to be in Wild Wild West.
What a mistake.
I know, but
Wild West. Yeah.
Jim West, Desperado. So Will Smith was going to be the lead role in this.
Was he?
Yep.
Really?
That's what the paper says, and that's what IMDb says. My research stops and starts at IMDb.
IMDb trivia is where we get all our facts.
One day we'll be professional journalists. That's a story for later, how we accidentally became journalists. We'll get to that. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I don't know why I'm saying all these facts, but we're going to put them in anyway, because phone booth, I mean, it's a locked room that you can't go, oh, there's some really cool cutaways.
There's not. It's just a man in a phone booth.
The cool thing about phone booth, right? Only the main actors had a script. So all the like extras had no idea what was going to happen. So all their reactions are genuine.
Ooh,
Which I think is really cool, especially for what it is. It's just to paint the scene. If you've not watched it, for some weird reason that you're listening to us talk about it. It takes place on this like red light district-esque area.
Yeah, it's in a phone booth opposite a strip club.
Yeah, and there's a guy selling knockoff robot toys on the street as well. There's the odd car park stuff. So there's not much going on, so you can't really do much visually. But the shots of all these wides they do, where it's just like you see the phone booth and you see another character, and they just interact like that. So the bit with the robot,
yeah,
the little robots coming towards the phone booth. It's quite tense. That's a really well done scene. You think, oh, is the robot going to explode? No, the robot just tips like the side of the phone booth and just kind of like it gets shot. Then doesn't he? Like he sniper rifles the robot, doesn't he? Because he has to pay for it or something.
No, he shoots like the pimp outside the strip club.
I'm sure he shoots the robot.
I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention for this film.
See, really
I wasn't interested.
I really enjoyed it, and Nick didn't like it so much. But I think you enjoyed it, didn't you, Jack?
Yeah, I was about halfway between you guys. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as good as you think it is, Adam. But I don't know, I still enjoyed it.
I think it's a modern masterpiece.
A pretty well-made film.
I didn't dislike it, and I didn't hate it. It's just I was like, I don't care
I feel
for
like it could have gone a bit further. I feel like the ending was very rushed. Like the third act just kind of went and done. There wasn't kind of a nice kind of suspense build. I thought there was going to be a fake out.
There was a fake out.
No, as in like a proper like they go to the room and there was no one in the room. Like he lied the whole way through. Because he was like they kind of traced the call. So basically, the premise is a guy is somewhere in New York, thousands of windows, pointing a sniper rifle in the phone booth, and throughout the film, it's kind of like he gives little clues to where he might be, and they start to backtrack. And eventually they find I think it's a hotel room.
Yeah, hotel room.
And I thought at that point, because the character had been doing, so much manipulation, I thought, oh, they're going to do a fake out. And it was like nothing. Like they were going to open it and it'd be just a random guy having lunch or whatever. And it wasn't. It was just like, this is the sniper rifle. Here is a dead man. Ooh, spoilers for the end. And nothing. It was just like, a very predictable ending.
So the police and everyone obviously thought the dead man was the sniper because he had committed suicide because they knew where he was.
Yeah.
But then, like, Colin Farrell has been shot slightly. He's in the back of an ambulance, and they give him loads of morphine to dull the pain. And while he's sat in the back of the ambulance, high on the morphine, Keith Sutherland walks up to the ambulance holding a case which obviously has the sniper in it, and is like, oh, I'm still alive, haha, I got you. And that's like the big twist.
Do you know what it felt like? It felt like an extended CSI episode.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe it works better with a shorter format.
Maybe.
What I liked about it wasn't just this was the first guy that he targeted, the sniper. This was the third. He attacked like another businessman before, and it was in the newspaper and stuff. And I think maybe like a weird it's like a 3-part TV show could have covered this better.
There is an episode of Luther where there's a sniper in London shooting people, and Luther has to hunt him down and track him down.
Do you know what? That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Probably
where they nicked it from. And by that I mean they nicked it from Phone Booth, because Phone Booth is, the greatest masterpiece of the 21st century.
Luther is great, by the way. Go watch Luther.
I need to finish that. Jack, you ever watched Luther?
I've watched one episode of it, the one where the guy and his brother play the D&D game to kill people.
I like how your entire concept of dice has become D&D at this point.
Yeah.
No, because he does the it's like a D20, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Jack.
So do you know Phone Booth?
I do know Phone Booth, Adam Dokhan of the Bargain Bin podcast.
At FatMCC on Twitter. It's all done in real time. Not as in it was all filmed in one go, but there are no cuts in time to make it seem longer. The runtime is exactly how long he was in that film.
How long the
film.
incident lasted.
I think that's really cool. I think that adds
cool.
to more of the realism of him being in it. You kind of get more intense. There's no cutaways. All the cutaways are in time.
Yeah.
I like that. And also Michael Bay was going to direct this.
Oh.
But he was removed from the project because he went into a meeting and the first thing he said was, "So, how are we going to get him out the phone booth?"
Oh, yeah, he completely missed the point.
Yeah, they were like, do you know who'd be good at this? The guy who made Batman and Robin. It's weird, Joel Schumacher. Because some films are great and other films have rubber nipples in.
Yeah, Joel Schumacher. He's a hit and miss guy.
Well, like the song.
I guess they never miss, huh?
Huh?
You have to bring that in.
It's current. That's what kids want.
Yeah.
They want memes.
Hit on them Fortnite gamers. Floss it.
I'm flossing right now.
I'm flossing right now. I hope you are too, Jack.
I am indeed.
He's not.
Or maybe he is. You could be lying.
Either way, I'm disappointed.
I'm always disappointed in Jack, but that's for many, many other reasons. Wait, I've got one more thing. This script is really old because it was pitched to Alfred Hitchcock.
Really?
Yep. The guy, Larry Cohen, who is the original scriptwriter, or concept writer, whatever it's called, first came up with this and pitched it to Hitchcock, but neither of them could figure out a way of keeping him in the phone booth, because there was no sniper rifles weren't a big thing.
Yeah.
So they left it, and it just got picked up again, and someone just went, "Hey, do you remember that old idea that someone had?
I'll make this."
Imagine a Hitchcock version would be very strange.
It would. I'd watch it though.
Yeah.
I imagine Rear Window
it's like Rear
really
Window,
good. So I imagine Hitchcock.
Rear Window with a gun.
Yeah, Rear Window, but the neighbour that's killed someone has a gun.
And that is an extensive look into the phone booth. It wasn't really, but I guess that's kind of what we do, isn't it?
I mean, there's more than anyone else has done. I don't think anyone else has looked into
You say
as much
that.
as we just
Empire
have.
loved this.
Empire did love this for some reason.
They also went mad with puns in their review.
Oh dear.
They were like, "Put everything on hold and answer Colin's call."
And with that note, we're going to move on to our scoring system for this. Jack Goodman, I would like you to give this a score. How many out of 10 angry Irishmen in a phone booth would you give this film?
I will give this 7 Angry Irishmen out of 10.
All right, Nick. This time, without having to cut out the pause that Jack left in.
Because I thought you guys were going first. I didn't realise it was directed at me.
Okay, Nick. How many hidden guns in a phone booth out of 10 would you give this film?
Probably about 2.
Only 2 hidden guns.
2?
He just doesn't like it in hidden gun terms, Jack.
I
That's
don't
okay.
like it,
It's
Jack.
21st century.
I'm not a fan.
Still.
And
Very harsh one.
So, Adam Dokhan, how many dead pimps in the street would you give this
Oh.
out of 10?
About 8.
8.
8.5.
8.5
I
dead
loved
pimps
it.
out of 10.
8.5 dead pimps.
Nice. It's time now for the segment of our podcast where we review this week's trailers. I say trailers multiple as that's what we normally do, but this week we've only got one to talk about as it's the most important trailer that's ever been released. It's John Wick 3.
I'm so excited. I words cannot describe how excited I am for this film. I need to see it. I want it now.
We are all massive John Wick fans. We are so excited for this.
Big fan. What do you think of the tag title?
Parabellum.
Parabellum.
John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Of course, that is a gun, if anyone's wondering what that is, because I had to Google it. I have no idea what that is.
Don't care about the title. I just want to see Keanu Reeves in a suit just beating some guys up and shooting some guns. And this trailer gave me exactly that. It's exactly what I want to see. They're on a motorbike having a samurai sword fight.
I'm so excited about that.
In the trailer, he's killing a guy with a book. In John Wick Chapter 2, he kills 2 guys with a pencil. In this one, he's shoving a book down someone's throat. And then he goes and meets Halle Berry, who I guess is an assassin he knows. And she's got attack dogs who synchronize attack with her. And it's like, we're gushing.
Do you think, like the 4th one, he'll just be in Staples and just use everything to kill someone?
Hopefully.
Just gets out like staplers.
Although, you say in the 4th one, I kind of hope they make this one perfect and leave it as a trilogy.
I think it'd be a trilogy because, I don't think they're going to make a 4th one. Because trilogies just feel better.
Yeah.
4 films just feels a bit weirdly weighted.
And there were talks and plans of doing a spin-off of this universe surrounding the Assassin Hotel,
which I love.
I love the whole concept, especially in the first one, before it gets it too much into it in Chapter 2, where you've kind of got this whole rich world and this lore and this story, and they just give you little drops of it, and you don't know fully what's happening.
That's my favourite thing about these things. It's just the coins. The first time you see any of the coins is when he's digging them out of a concrete floor. You're just like, they're important.
Yeah.
But no one's going to explain it, and what are they worth? You pay people with them. It's cool. I really love it.
Why is this assassin guy who's on a mission to kill people going to this hotel? Oh, it's a hotel specifically for assassins, and this is like a safe zone.
Yeah, I like how it's all respected. You don't kill anyone in here, and if you do, well, the hotel gets you.
That's at the end of John Wick Chapter 2.
Yeah, exactly. Literally the setup of this film.
So if you've not seen John Wick and John Wick Chapter 2, what are you doing? Go watch them. And to recap for the ones of you that have, obviously John Wick Chapter 1, he's a retired assassin, his wife has died, a Russian mobster's son breaks into his house, kills his dog and steals his car.
It's a great car.
So John Wick takes it upon himself to take down the whole of the Russian mob, which he does successfully. And in the second one, he owes a favour to someone from his past, from an assassin friend, and has to go and kill someone. But obviously this someone is an influential person, and after the deed is done, he gets tracked down and hunted by more assassins, leading to the end of the second one where he kills another assassin in the hotel. And because of this, a bounty on his head is sent out to every single assassin in the world. So the setup for the third one, every single assassin in the world is after John Wick.
And they're all gonna die.
John Wick is going to kill every single one.
The weird thing is, though, is that the bounty on his head is only, alright, so $14 million is a lot of money, but to kill, someone who has a reputation as violent as John Wick, I feel like it needs to be something like 50 million for someone to give it a shot. 14 million isn't that much for a lone assassin I can take on John Wick.
All the other assassins are equally as trained as John Wick. John Wick is a good assassin, but he is up against other assassins in this one, whereas previously
it's just been goons and stuff.
Yeah, in the second one there was one assassin played by Ruby Rose, but the rest were all just like goons.
It's John Wick versus John Wick, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that completely.
You know what's great? One of the main assassins he faces off against is the presenter from Iron Chef, the American show where they have a secret ingredient and they show them, and there's loads of vines of him saying the words really weird when they lift the ingredients up. He's like, beer and cheese. He used to do kung fu movies before he did Iron Chef, and now he's back being an assassin in John Wick.
It's like if Jean-Claude Van Damme ever made a return
Yep.
after doing those Warburton adverts where he did the splits on those lorries.
Yeah, and the Coors Light advert.
Is that him?
Yeah,
Oh, he's aged poorly.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's damn cold. No? No?
No.
Oh. Anyway,
He's on a horse.
he is on a horse. John Wick riding a horse.
It's the best, isn't it? I hope he gets on top of that horse, stands on it, and then just has a machine gun.
I just want to watch this movie right now.
I want him to have a fight with 2 swords on top of the horse with someone else who has gotten onto his horse, so he has a sword fight with another guy on the horse.
Do you want to move on from John Wick? 'Cause I've got something else I want to talk about.
Okay, let's
I
go
don't know
for
if
it.
you've heard. Matt Mikkelsen's new Netflix film.
Oh,
Have you heard?
Polar.
Polar. His second film to be called Polar
Oh,
that he's ever done. The first one is, about just being stuck in the Arctic and just like being all like, ooh, everyone's cold.
Polar Netflix film starring Mads
Yeah.
Mikkelsen.
And this one
It looks like
very John Wicky.
It looks like a John Wick kind of rip-off, and it's not getting good reviews.
No, I just remember seeing the trailer and going, this is really weird. It's a pre-existing comic.
Oh,
So maybe John Wick took from this, perhaps we can think about, because it's
maybe.
very
It's
graphic
a
and stuff.
it's a similar concept, like retired assassin being hunted down by other assassins.
I just like the one thing I love in like films, and I always want them to do, and like in your head you can think about it, is the shooting of the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And or you can do it in games and stuff, but it's always on like a wall or something. But he just chucks it in the air and shoots it, and it's so cool.
Mads Mikkelsen is just great.
He's great.
I really wanted Mads Mikkelsen to play Geralt in The Witcher.
Yeah.
I think he would have been really good as
That
that.
would have been
Isn't he
perfect.
too old?
He's not too old. Well, because for the Witcher show, they're going for younger than the games and the books,
Oh, yeah.
which is why Henry Cavill is doing it. But if they were going for Geralt, the age he is in the games and the books, Mads Mikkelsen would have been amazing.
Oh, I just meant like visually, he looks a lot older than I'd say he does in the games a little bit. Just a bit too
Yeah,
aged. If you did like
makeup.
one after like all the stuff that's been set, I could see that. I just
Or-
think he's a little bit too old.
Who else I would have cast as Geralt?
James Gunn?
No.
Oh.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Jack knows.
Carl Urban could do anything.
I know, because he's this great actor. I really like Carl Urban, and whenever someone's like, who should we cast? I'm always like, Carl Urban would be perfect for that. But he doesn't get a lot of big work, but that's fair enough.
That's true.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Scientology.
Probably.
Oh no, I said I read an article about it.
Is Carl Urban a Scientologist?
No, he's not.
He's not.
No, but do you know who is?
Everyone else.
No, do you know the guy in Ant-Man?
Yeah.
The South American actor,
Yeah.
the sidekick who's really funny. He does like the breakdown of the film.
Yeah.
It's like, we got a guy who can web swing, that guy. He's allegedly very high in Scientology, and that's why you see him in, like his career's gone
His
up.
career's
like,
gone skyrocket.
He's like the new Tom Cruise. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We are not being defamatory towards anyone.
Who's that with the gun, Nick? The Scientologists are in.
Anyway, so Polar, I might watch it.
Machine gun laser hand thing.
Maybe might watch it if
Oh,
I ever
watch
get
it.
round to it.
Talking of Polar, because I just looked at the cast, it has some really weird people. So Matt Luke in it, and Johnny Knoxville is in it. Why? Who knows?
Wait, Matt Lucas is in.
Yeah, Matt
The
Lucas.
guy from Little Britain.
Matt Lucas is like the
Oh.
big bad.
Oh, that's
But
strange.
if you're saying it's based off
Yeah.
graphic novel comic, I imagine Matt Lucas being that eccentric bold villain.
Tell you what though, I tried to buy the comic. Can't. It's like 800 quid.
Oh,
It's one of those ones with like 4-issue run in like the early 90s.
you'll never be able to read that.
I just want to read it. I want to know what it's about. It looks really colourful.
Get a PDF.
Yeah, I like having like real things. I like having a shelf.
Could buy a Kindle, but I just like holding a book.
That
You
is
know what I
true.
mean? Okay, that was trailer review for John Wick.
Hype for John Wick.
We all love John Wick.
Maybe one day we'll do a back-to-back podcast of-
About John Wick. That's what we're going to do
That's
when
the
John
plan.
Wick 3 comes out.
We might be very tired,
Yep.
but we'll be very, very hyped up on it.
Very excited for it.
I thought today Instead of doing a game as we normally do,
Game.
as this is the first podcast of 2019, I thought we could look back at 2018 and talk about some of our favourite films of 2018, talk about some films people might have missed, talk about films each other might have missed, and just have a discussion about what came out in 2018.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's very professional of you, Nick. Very professional for this podcast on Brayford Radio.
So obviously you have... Let's get all the big ones out the way. We've talked about Avengers before. We can't. You know what we're going to say about Black Panther and Ant-Man. Big ones like Solo. We all saw. We all thought they were okay. So yeah, those were like the big blockbuster ones. The new Jurassic World.
Oh,
you thought was boring. I havenn't seen it. I didn't bother.
So boring.
No, I haven't seen it either. It like I've heard nothing but terrible things about it, so I'm not going to bother.
So dull. And the twist is dumb.
So those are all like the franchise ones, but there is one franchise one I want to talk about: Mission Impossible Fallout.
Dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Really good.
Oh, it's the best one. I tell you what, it's impossible to run a series with this many films and then to still be watchable.
Still be getting
good.
better.
Yeah,
they're getting better with every one.
The fourth one is really good. And the sixth one is obviously great. But I think that the fifth one went downhill a bit. But I think they've been on average getting better
4, 5, and 6 are all
which is insane.
I think it's if you don't include 2 because it's 2.
2 is terrible. Yeah. It's easily the worst.
But you know why it's bad? Because the action scenes were written first.
Yeah,
that's why. But if you discount 2, they've all gotten better, which you can't say about any other film series ever.
Especially not one with 6 films.
Yeah, with 6 films and it's all based on action pieces. You just can't do that.
Well, okay, arguably I'd say the Fast and Furious films, but that's because they've gone away from racing into just like a comic book film.
Yeah.
You know, like they've just gotten so ridiculous that it's better. That's my opinion. I know some people like the racing ones better.
I think it depends what you're into. I think if you followed the series, they get ridiculous at a pace, so where it's like fine. But I think if you just watch like Fast and Furious and then is it Fast 9? Fast 8? Fast 8?
I don't know.
They did 8. I don't think they've done 9 yet.
Like if you watch 1 and 8, you'll go like, oh no.
Yeah.
But if you watch them one after the other and worked
fine.
up to it, I think you'd be fine. But you could watch Mission Impossible in any order, apart from the last 2.
The last 2 are kind of connected.
Are the only ones that I would say you kind of, just to get the idea of the villains.
Yeah, there's like a returning, like 2 or 3 returning characters who aren't like the standard Mission Impossible team that have been in for ages. But yeah, I really liked Henry Cavill in it.
Oh, he's great.
He those punches look like they hurt.
Can we talk about the reload punch?
Yeah.
That's the best thing I've ever seen in a fight scene. He's just like, everyone's seen it, but you know what I'm talking about, where he's like, he's got his fist and then he just like reloads them to punch.
The punches. It's great. Because like normally in a film when you see a fist fight, it looks realistic enough, but for some reason in this film, when Henry Cavill punches someone, you feel it. You're like, oh, that looked good.
It's because he's a brick.
He is a brick.
I mean, that whole bathroom scene when him and Tom Cruise are like fighting that one guy in the bathroom, like that. Every punch that he made was like, oh, okay.
And that's what I liked about it. There was 3. What you don't see in other like fight films is everyone fights the exact same way. It's like everyone's like a karate master or a boxing pro. There were 3 different styles.
Yeah, they all have different fighting styles.
Yeah, and there was the American boxer. You had like Tom Cruise, who was more like finesse and kind of precise jabbing.
Precise
and, then you had, like,
and momentum.
A karate expert, martial art expert, just like dodging everything and using like the environment. Oh, it was so cool.
It was very good, that whole bathroom scene.
And they managed to tie it with a joke as well, which to keep it, and they kept the tone of the joke as well. You know, they shot a guy in the head, and it's just like, oh god, blood. It was really good. I loved so much of it.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Go watch it. It's just a great action film. Great fun.
Film. Not boring at any point, and the pace is so good all the way through.
So, my film that I want to talk about, which is my favourite film easily of last year, was Hereditary. That film is so good. Like, it is in my top films that I've ever seen. I love that film so much. Toni Collette in it, like how she wasn't nominated for Best Actress astounds me, because her performance carries that film. That her kind of like slow descent into kind of madness and like discovering all these things, like it is incredible. Every single performance in that film is great. The general like plot of it is really good. Just I have nothing bad to say about that film. It is like absolutely amazing. The cinematography is great. The script is great. The music is like really chilling and like fits the tone so well. There's so many different layers. Like you notice so many things on like your second and third time watching it. Just nothing bad about that I can say about it. It's just absolutely incredible.
That's interesting, because after seeing the trailer for Hereditary, I wanted to watch it. But it kind of passed me by. But everything I've heard about it has either been what you've said or has been completely negative. And it's about a 50-50 split from what I've seen, from what I've read, from what friends have told me. Some people say, I absolutely love it. It's a great suspense horror. She's a great actress. It's amazing. And the other people said, I was laughing at it. It's so bad. I really didn't like it.
Really?
People in my cinema were laughing because it was terrible. Yeah. I've heard very, very mixed things about it, but not mixed in the way of, it was all right, it was good, maybe don't watch it. It was either it's terrible or it's one of the best films of the year.
Super polarised opinions.
Yeah.
I have no idea about I remember the trailer and going, this is definitely not for me. But I still have
The thing
no
is, the
clue
trailer
about the plot
doesn't
at all. I just don't
represent
get
the film at all. Rewatching the trailer, having like already watched the film, like it doesn't fit the film really at all. It's like way slower paced. It's not. I wouldn't say, frankly, it's a horror until the last like 20 minutes. Like, for the most part, it's just a thriller. It's a very suspenseful thriller that has like a really like oppressive tone throughout. I wouldn't frankly call it a horror.
I know. I had it spoiled for me. I know the big like twist thing that happens with the little girl, the child.
Oh, okay.
I know what happens there. So, would you recommend, after knowing that, if it's
Yes.
still worth a watch?
Yeah, I thought that bit is definitely like a shock, definitely because of all the marketing for the film. But I'd say that like the plot after it is still really, really good. It's I can't say anything bad about it. I love that film so much,
I will.
like I can't show it to anybody because like hardly anybody likes horror, so or thriller, that kind of thing. So it's hard to get people to watch it.
I'll try and watch it, and I will let you know on next week's podcast whether I am in the best film of the year camp or the awful camp. I would like to talk about another horror film that came out this year, something that was very different and exciting, which I loved. And that is A Quiet Place. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt. You've probably all heard of A Quiet Place. If you've not seen it, do yourself a favour. It is great. It is a great little concept that there's these monsters on the earth who are killing everyone, but they hunt using sound, and exclusively sound. So the world is kind of in an apocalypse, and it's this man and his pregnant wife and their 2 kids have to live on a farm and be completely silent. Have either of you two seen it?
No. And what really annoyed
I haven't
me,
seen it either.
I was going to watch it and just like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
You should
Film it out
both. You should
cinemas.
both watch it. It's great because I watched it. Try and watch it on your own in complete silence. It is very good. I went home for Christmas. My mum normally doesn't watch films. She normally doesn't like watching films.
She hates this podcast.
She does.
Maybe because Jack's on it.
Yeah, she doesn't like you, Jack. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she was like, I was like, so we were trying to decide on a film to watch on Christmas Eve, I think, all as a family in the evening, and we were going through lists and lists of films, and I said, how about we watch The Quiet Place? It's a horror film, and she immediately went, no, and I went, no, you'll really like it. It's all about family. So we watched it, and my mum loved it, my dad loved it, my brother loved it.
Your dog loved it?
I don't have a dog.
Oh.
It died. Hard cut. So yeah, Quiet Place. Go watch Quiet Place. It's great. I've got another film to recommend to both of you.
Yeah.
The film is 8th Grade, which was written and directed by Bo Burnham. I'm not a huge fan of Bo Burnham's comedy, his stand-up, his comedy songs, but I know that he's a really talented guy. And I thought it was really strange when I first heard about 8th Grade that Bo Burnham, for his first directorial debut and his first film, he would be doing this kind of middle school, high school drama about this teenage girl with body issues, self-esteem issues, and her growing up. but it's a really sweet little comedy drama, kind of a small family thing. It's satisfied my itch for high school drama, which is my guilty pleasure. So 8th grade, if you're into that thing, it's a nice little film to watch. Jack, any other films from 2018 to talk about?
Yeah, so I have one more, which is Blind Spotting. I don't know if you know Ralph the Movie Maker on YouTube. I heard him talk about it, and that's what made me want to watch it. And on the plane over here, it was on, so I thought I might as well watch it. And it's a really, really good film. It's about this guy in Oakland who witnesses a police officer kill a black guy for like no reason. He was like running away, and it's like him trying to come to terms with it and deal with what he's seen. But like my favorite thing about it is the dialogue. Like, it genuinely feels like this film didn't have a script, but in a good way. Like, it just feels like the actors got on so well with each other that they were just like, okay, just speak, and the scene will happen, and stuff will happen in the scene, and you need to react to that. And because all the dialogue, it doesn't feel like it would feel like it was written. It feels like it's just like natural flowing conversation. It's really, really well done. It's shot very well. The pacing's great. It's really, really good. Highly recommend watching it.
Sounds good. A couple of quick shout outs to films. Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson, really great. If you're a Coen Brothers fan, Ballad of Buster Scruggs on Netflix, I really enjoyed. This kind of 6 short stories all about cowboys. Adam, got any films?
So TV shows, we've put in some TV shows. Jack Ryan is phenomenal.
Jack Ryan, I watched the first few episodes. I've still got the rest of it to go. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, it's just really hooky. Once you're into it, you go for it. John Krasinski is an amazing actor. It's weird. It's taken him a while to come back. It feels like he was like as a name, just not talked about. Then suddenly,
it was like after The Office, he had 3 or 4 years where he did nothing, and then he came back big. Yeah,
and I'm glad for it. They're making another series of it. I'm really excited for that. It's one of the few Amazon originals that I'm genuinely interested in. It's like that and Man of the High Castle. Everything else that genuinely Amazon produces hasn't been a great thing, I think, including like Grand Tour and stuff like that. I don't think are anywhere near watchable. But these have been, so I don't know what it is, but they're doing really well with these things at the moment.
Jack Ryan, really good.
Also, finally, I know this is very much like a Hollywood type big blockbuster film, but they finally made a good Transformers film. Bumblebee is not just a good Transformers film, I should say. It's a really fun film. It's like the Iron Giant, but with transforming robots. It's really fun. The characters are likable. It's not Shia LaBeouf screaming for 2 hours. The explosions are like colourful, and you can tell who everyone is. It's really fun. It's an 80s kind of soundtrack romp. It's so much fun.
Sounds good. There is one last one I want to talk about from 2018.
Was it The Meg?
No, it's not The Meg. It is Annihilation.
Yes,
I heard
that was going to be my one if you didn't talk about it.
I heard good things about it. I've got to be honest. I wasn't really a big fan. I know, Jack, you liked it.
I really liked it.
Now, this
I
is the Netflix one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 similar, like these merge into the same film in my head. Is this the one which is all about the women going through the portal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of. All right. The other one is with the alleged Scientology actor. I can't remember the name of it, but that's what I thought it was.
Okay. Have you seen Annihilation?
No.
Okay. I heard loads of really good things about it. I remember Jack on one of the podcasts saying it was really good. But when I watched it, I really wasn't that into it. I thought it was okay. Thought it was But I know you. Why did you really enjoy it, Jack? Give me a reason.
Firstly, it's one of the few films that I've seen Natalie Portman in that she isn't terrible in. She's actually like a pretty good actress in this film, and just the rest of the cast as well. Pretty good acting all round. It's shot really nicely, and for me, like the music is really, really good. It's very haunting, and it really kind of showcases the mood of not really knowing what's going on inside this kind of weird alien veil thing. I don't want to do any spoilers, but there's like a monster in it that is like really creative and well done, that is just like genuinely kind of frightening. I don't know, it gets off to a bit of a slow start. I feel that the first third could have been sped up a bit, but once they get into like the kind of like alien veil thing, it gets really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, there were aspects of it I enjoyed, but overall, I wasn't that into it.
I've
But-
only heard just completely polarizing ideas.
Yeah.
Like people are like, "Hey, this is great," or people have gone, "No."
Oscar Isaac is great in it, though. I will say
But
that.
everyone has said that.
Oscar Isaac is just great in everything.
He is great.
Ex Machina is worth watching just for Oscar Isaac's.
But I tell you what, he's not very good in
acting.
X-Men: Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, but that's because he was literally wearing a tent and 7 gallons of blue paint.
I'll tell you, have you seen the there's a short film, I think it came out last year, Tiki Tak?
Yeah, starring Oscar Isaac, and it's very good. It gave me a very Wes Anderson feel.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's all the colours and the very centralised,
and like
weird humour.
the really dark humour, but put across in a really light way, so you don't mind it.
Yeah, he's lovely in everything. I'd sell Jack's arm to get him in one of my films.
I'd sell the whole of Jack
You see, the trouble is, you can't sell people, but you can sell parts of them.
illegally.
Yeah, Jack can donate a kidney.
Anyway, let's move on from this topic before we get kicked off Brayford Radio. By the way, at Brayford Radio on Twitter, at Brayford Radio Station on Instagram. Get in touch. And get in touch with us personally at
Phantom Cheese C on Twitter. The other two don't have anything.
and Bargain Bin Podcast at Gmail.
Oh yeah, the show we do.
That's the one I was going for.
Oh, is that what you wanted for? Yeah. The Bargain Bin on YouTube as well, where we put on all the episodes, including the uncut versions, which we don't play on radio for many, many reasons.
Mainly because of the words Jack says.
Yeah, Jack is
Yeah.
horrible. Oh.
I'm a terrible person.
Anyway, so that was our little review of 2018 films.
Good year for films.
Hope you've got some recommendations from us.
And hope you can give us some too. The stuff we might not have heard of and
Yep.
we can watch.
We're going to move on now to our final film of this podcast. It is the very, very good The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan, came out in 2006. I was so happy when we pulled this out the bargain bin, and it was only 50p because it meant we get to watch it. I'm right in saying that Adam hadn't seen it before.
I've never seen this film before.
And Jack,
No, I've never
Jack
seen it
hadn't
before either.
I was the only one who's seen it before, but I saw it ages ago. This film has so many twists in it at the end. It's so great. It's a Christopher Nolan film, so you know it's going to be good. The concept is it early 20th
Nikola
century,
Tesla, so that's
early 1900s,
Oh, yeah,
18-something.
1890s.
1890s. These two magicians kind of have a rivalry, and they keep trying to steal each other's tricks. They're played by Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale.
Hugh Jackman.
They have a mentor played by Michael Caine, and Hugh Jackman really wants to steal this trick from Christian Bale, but has no idea how to do it. But has been left clues by Christian Bale to find out how to do this trick, which means he has to go and find Nikola Tesla in order to create a machine to
favourite
perform this
inventor.
illusion. This film is great. It's really fun. It's also very dark, but yeah, it's amazing.
I love how a lot of his films are never played in the correct order. Nearly the correct order.
Nearly.
But just enough to where you can think, hold on, are we here or are we there?
There's a
and
lot
then
of-
you get the twist of,
There's a lot of flash forward, flashbacky bits, but it's not hard to understand.
No, it's like a soft Memento,
Yeah.
if you want frame of reference.
My only issue with this film, it's really good. The twists are great, and the acting's pretty good. All right, actually, no, I have two issues with this. One from the acting, Christian Bale, like his British accent. So I actually didn't realize that he was British, but he is, and yet his British accent is like really bad. It sounds like someone is trying to do like a mock impression of a
He's
British
going
accent.
for like, I'm a British magician type, I am. He's going for that style. It doesn't
Yeah,
really
exactly.
work.
And it's
And-
so annoying when he
And like it
shouts.
constantly took me out of the film. Virtually every time he spoke, I thought it was someone like doing an impression, and it like whatever immersion the film like kind of built up, like that took me out of it. And my other issue is that I found it like at parts quite dull. Like I thought at times it was like quite slow going, even though like near the end with all the twists and turns, like that was really good. But like in the middle, there was just I don't know, it felt a bit boring to me at times.
Yeah, I can,
But
I can
overall,
see
it
that.
was
I can
pretty
see in
good.
some sections
I
where
can
you can kind of like it's paced a bit too slow for what it is, which is like close-up magic, which you want excitement quite quickly.
I can understand why you think that. and why you feel that. But for me, I really liked it. I really liked those slow moments because I was really gripped in this kind of like weird relationship the two magicians had. So in those down moments, I was happy to just see them like talking to their families, talking to their assistants, and getting more of an idea about them. I really enjoyed those bits.
Yeah, I'm indifferent towards them, kind of in between. I think some bits were slow for tension, but a lot of bits were just kind of, like you're just explaining it a bit too much. It's a lot better when it's just, you can cut that and it's more ambiguous and it's a thing, but it is film, innit? One
thing I love about this film is who they cast to play Nikola Tesla. They cast David Bowie to play Nikola Tesla. Rest in peace. But he is amazing as Nikola Tesla.
He's great. I forget how good an actor he is. Until you're like, oh yeah, Labyrinth was a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, The Prestige, pretty damn good.
Pretty good. All right. Best close-up magic in a film, which is real, since Mission Impossible 1, where Tom Cruise makes a CD disappear. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's Nolan. It's Christopher Nolan, so you know it's going to be good. It's one of those Nolan ones before he got the Batman films, before his name really got out there. But it's definitely worth watching. Yes,
it's good fun. The twists are good. The style and the setting. I love it. I just love it. There's the world is. It's weird. It's very believable, and there's a lot of not high fantasy, but like steampunk-esque, out of this world concepts.
Yeah.
Which it just works. Like, you should question it because it's so bizarre and so just out of context for magic and stuff. But it works. It's acceptable. I can't quite figure out how he's done that.
It's great.
It's a great film, apart from Christian Bale's acting.
Let's give The Prestige some ratings, shall we? Some classic bargain bin ratings.
Hive mind.
So, Jack, I want you to give me, out of 10, how many magician's hats would you give The Prestige?
I'd give it a solid 6 magician's hat. Actually, no, I'll up it. Yeah, 7 magician's hat out of 10.
Are you trying to say one more magician hat just suddenly teleported in?
Yeah. So that 7 became an 8.
That's a link.
That's a link to the film. Go watch it.
Okay, Nick. How many dead canaries out of 10 would you give it?
I would give The Prestige a solid 8.5, 9 dead canaries out of 10.
There's always one that's alive, though, isn't there?
There is.
And that's why you didn't give it 10?
No.
Oh, deep in it.
Adam Dokhan of the Bargain Bin podcast.
At PhantomGC on Twitter.
How many bouncy balls out of 10 would you give this film?
Ooh. I'd give it 9 bouncy balls out of 10. I was trying to think of a weird way of working that in, but I would spoil the entire premise of the film if I did that.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few times we're not really going into the plot or the twists.
Because you don't spoil an omen.
Yeah. He's Batman. But yeah, this is one of the few ones I say go watch. This is not like our usual bargain bins where we find bad films. This has been, a really good.
This has been a good episode for us.
Go in, go watch them, go enjoy them because they're worth the watch, I think.
Make sure to tune in next week. We've already picked out the films for next week.
Oh yes.
We have the kids' comedy classic, The Pacifier, starring Vin Diesel.
I love this film. I remember this watching this as a kid and I'm so excited for this.
And we have the best heist movie ever made, Tower Heist, starring Ben Stiller.
I love heist movies, and this film is a film.
It's a film.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Bargain Bin podcast here on Brayford Radio. I've been Adam.
I've been Nick.
And I've been Jack.
Nice delay.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's like a little mini Brexit he's had. I wrote that joke at the beginning of the podcast, and I've been trying to get it in. Right, but thank you all for watching. If you want to catch up with this show, you can find it on the YouTube channel, The Bargain Bin Podcast, where you can find the extended versions as well, or you can listen to other shows on Brayford Radio.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.